take a look at shares of Thor Industries, which are up 16% right now, on pace for their best day in 8 years.
Have you ever wondered what happens to brand new R-Vees that never sell? The ones baking behind dealership fences? Too expensive to move, yet too costly to keep? Are they destroyed, auctioned off, or waiting for someone to buy them at massive discounts? Across the country, these rigs sit untouched, sun-faded, flat-tired, and quietly bleeding interest every single day. From the road, they shine like success. Up close, they're a graveyard of cracked seals, dead batteries, and broken promises. Dealers call it inventory. I call it decay on display. And today, I'll show you what really happens when new R-Vees never leave the lot. The silent graveyard. Rows of gleaming motorhomes stretch across acres of asphalt, their chrome catching the afternoon sun like mirrors that no one looks into. Each one still smells of factory glue and fresh upholstery, yet the dust on the windshields tells another story. This is the silent graveyard of the R-V boom. Brand new rigs, engines never started, tires never turning. From a distance, it looks like success. Up close, it feels like time standing still. Sales flags flutter, but the customers stopped coming months ago. Walk between the rows, and you can hear the silence hum. No generators, no voices, only the hiss of wind through awning arms. Dealers once called this the inventory cushion. Now it's a financial anchor. Each idle R-V represents tens of thousands of dollars, borrowed, insured, and depreciating in real time. The irony is brutal. The longer they wait to sell, the more value evaporates. The mystery deepens. How can something brand new already be forgotten? Every rig here is on borrowed time. But the real reason these R-Vees haunt the lot isn't the silence. It's the loan keeping them there. Floor plan secrets. Contrary to what many buyers believe, most dealerships do not own the shiny units parked on their lots. They're financed through what insiders call a floor plan, a revolving line of credit that functions like a giant corporate credit card. Each time a new R-V arrives, the dealer borrows money from a lender, pays the manufacturer up front, and starts the clock on daily interest. It's a system built on optimism and turnover. As long as vehicles sell quickly, everyone wins. But when sales slow, that optimism turns to panic. Dealers pay interest every single day, and R-V remains unsold, plus insurance, lot space, and sometimes additional curtailments. Mandatory principal payments after 60 or 90 days. When dozens of rigs sit unsold, these costs stack like dominoes. Some dealerships quietly refinance or move units between locations just to keep up with the bills. A lot full of inventory looks like success, but financially, it's closer to quicksand. Each sunrise costs them money, and desperation follows. And that desperation only grows as the clock ticks past the first deadlines. If you're already shocked by what's happening behind those dealership gates, hit that like button right now. And drop a comment below. Would you ever buy a new R-V after seeing this? I'm curious how many would still take the risk. The aging countdown. Inside every dealership's computer system lives a hidden timer. Once an R-V has sat for 60 days, the dealer's margin starts to erode. After 120, the lender may demand larger payments. At 180, manufacturers sometimes reduce support, bonuses, or advertising credits. These stages are known as age tiers, and they're what keep managers pacing their offices, watching the calendar like a bomb timer. A unit that lingered too long last summer might now be marked down $5,000 or even $10,000 just to clear the floor plan debt. Sales staff feel the pressure too. Bonuses vanish if aging stock doesn't move. In this countdown, every day becomes an argument between patience and survival. Managers gamble. Do they wait for spring buyers or take the loss now? Either way, the meter never stops. Each passing day turns unsold dreams into unpaid interest. That ticking clock is about to explode. And when it does, the entire business year resets in one ruthless tradition: the model year changeover. The model year flip. Every summer, manufacturers roll out the next model year R-Vees, and the cycle starts over. For dealerships, it's both a fresh start and a nightmare. The moment those new model year stickers arrive, last year's inventory becomes yesterday's news. Technically new, but already outdated. Shoppers walking the lot will ask, "Is this the previous year's model?" and expect a massive discount before even stepping inside. Dealers slash prices, advertise clearance events, and quietly absorb the loss just to make room. But markdowns hide another problem. Age brings decay. A rig that sat through 12 months of heat and rain may already have faded decals, dried seals, or flat-spotted tires. To move them, dealers polish, patch, and stage the illusion of freshness. Beneath the shine, time has been doing slow, invisible damage. By autumn, those units that haven't sold face another winter outdoors, a death sentence disguised as inventory. Because time isn't the only enemy, weather is. Lot rot. Sunlight does strange things to an idle R-V. What was once a brilliant white exterior slowly yellows as ultraviolet rays gnaw at the gel coat. The decals blister, the roof seams shrink, and the rubber seals crack like dry riverbeds. Tires flatten in the same position for months until the sidewalls begin to split. Step inside one of these forgotten coaches, and the scent hits immediately. Trapped heat, stale upholstery, and a faint trace of mildew from condensation that never dried. Battery cells corrode quietly under the floor, waiting to fail the day someone finally tries to start the generator. Every exposed wire, hinge, and gasket ages faster when it never moves. The illusion of brand new dissolves with every season that passes. These vehicles were built to travel, but stillness is killing them from the inside out. Some of these new R-Vees are dying before their first trip. But physical decay is only half the story. The other half is the desperate money war that follows, the discount war. When the sun fades paint, dealers try to distract with price tags. The moment an R-V crosses a certain age on the lot, the discount war begins. Manufacturers roll out factory cash incentives, 0% financing campaigns, and temporary rebates, all meant to disguise the deeper issue of financial strain. On paper, it looks like a bargain. Holiday blowout, factory-authorized markdown. In reality, those numbers hide months of interest payments and the creeping losses of lot rot repairs. Dealers will polish oxidized roofs, replace batteries, and patch tires, then advertise fresh arrivals. Even though the rigs have been sitting all year, the goal is not profit, but survival. Move the unit before the lender demands another curtailment payment. The price drops appear generous, but they rarely come from goodwill. They are a mask covering quiet panic. But when discounts fail, they bend the rules. And bending the rules often means turning a new R-V into something else entirely. Demos and loaners. Some dealerships have learned a trick to dodge the stigma of aging inventory. If a rig refuses to sell, they simply give it a temporary life as a service loaner for customers getting repairs or as a manager's demo vehicle. The mileage stays low, maybe only a few hundred miles, but it's enough to reclassify the unit from new to used. That single change opens the door to deeper discounts without triggering factory penalties for selling below cost. Inside, the furniture still smells unused, yet legally it's pre-owned. The tactic clears floor plan debt while keeping the books balanced. From the outside, it looks like a great deal for the buyer. A lightly used model with full warranty. What most people never realize is that it was once the dealership's problem child. Every borrowed mile was a delay tactic disguised as generosity. It's not a discount, it's a disguise. And once the disguise no longer works, dealers start looking far beyond their own zip code for a way out. Dealer swaps. When one region's inventory stagnates, the trade routes open. A toy hauler that won't move in humid Florida might find a new audience in Colorado, where campers crave altitude over beaches. Dealerships contact partners in other states, arranging swaps that shuffle their oldest stock elsewhere. On paper, it looks efficient. Everyone gets fresh inventory. In practice, it's an elaborate shell game. The same unsold units simply change scenery, enduring new climates and longer transport miles that add subtle wear and hidden transport damage. A rig baked in desert sun may now face mountain frost, worsening the seals and chassis corrosion. Paperwork resets, but the age does not. These trades keep manufacturers happy by spreading inventory evenly, but they never fix demand itself. The units continue to age in exile, accumulating storage dust in someone else's lot. And when no lot will take them, they vanish underground. Wholesale trail. When every trick on the lot has failed, the real journey begins. Not toward a buyer, but into the industry's underworld. Dealers quietly load unsold R-Vees onto transporters headed for closed and open auctions. The last refugee for inventory that refuses to move. Behind guarded gates at companies like Mannheim or ADESA, long lines of motorhomes, trailers, and fifth wheels wait for the hammer to fall. Here, there is no glossy showroom lighting, no persuasive sales pitch. Just quick bidding, flashing numbers, and the grim mathematics of loss. Units once tagged at $100,000 can sell for half that amount or less. The dealers take the hit, but it's better than letting interest and insurance devour them alive. Auctioneers speak in rapid bursts. Each clap of the gavel is another concession to reality. These places smell of diesel, dust, and defeat. This is where value evaporates. But even after the hammer falls, many of these rigs aren't finished. They're simply reborn in a different disguise. Rental reinvention. From the auction floor, transporters haul their winnings to a new kind of fleet, rentals. Companies that specialize in vacation vehicles and cross-country trips scour these sales for bargains, grabbing nearly new R-Vees at wholesale prices. Once they arrive, logos are peeled off, fresh decals are applied, and the interiors are sanitized and staged. Within weeks, that unsellable rig is reborn as a rental unit, now booked by families for summer holidays. Rental duty is hard life for a vehicle built for leisure. Generators run non-stop, interiors wear faster, and maintenance cycles shorten. Still, the math works for the fleet operator. What was once a dealer's loss becomes a steady stream of rental income. After a few years and tens of thousands of miles, these units return to the market again, this time as affordable used R-Vees with a shiny new backstory. The bargain you rent next summer might be one of these. Yet not every stranded R-V gets a second life. A few take a far rarer route, straight back to the manufacturer. If this opened your eyes to what really happens behind the lots, make sure to subscribe. We've got more insider breakdowns coming. Hidden auctions, dealer markups, and buyer traps you can actually avoid. Hit that bell so you don't miss it. Rare buybacks. When a dealership terminates its franchise agreement or collapses financially, certain laws force manufacturers to repurchase leftover stock. These are called repurchases or buybacks. But they're not the safety net many imagine. Only in narrow circumstances, such as the end of a sales contract or dealership closure, must the manufacturer take units back. The process is wrapped in legal paperwork, citing state motor vehicle franchise laws, each clause protecting factory margins first. For the manufacturer, it's damage control. They pay a fraction of invoice value, transport the rigs to regional holding lots, and quietly reassign them to other dealers or export markets. For the former dealership, it's a bittersweet relief. Debt cleared, reputation bruised. The public never sees these transactions, yet they ripple through the supply chain, temporarily easing oversupply before production ramps again. Even rescue has fine print and an expiration date. But for every unit rescued by law, dozens face a grimmer, more permanent fate: liquidation and scrap. At the very bottom of the chain lie the liquidation yards, silent spaces where once proud coaches are stripped for whatever value remains. Technicians remove appliances, inverters, and cabinetry to sell as parts. Engines and transmissions are lifted out for resale. Furniture is reclaimed by refurbishers. Sometimes entire frames are dismantled for scrap metal, the fiberglass bodies crushed into anonymous shards. Manufacturers occasionally authorize this destruction when keeping old stock on the market would undercut current models. It's brand preservation through erasure. To the untrained eye, a liquidation yard looks like a post-apocalyptic maze of gleaming paint and shattered glass. Rows of vehicles that never touched a campground now lie cannibalized for profit. A few pieces, window trim, refrigerator doors, seat cushions, will live on in other rigs. The rest is gone forever. A new R-Vee's final destination can be the scrapyard. Timing the strike. For every dealership, time is both weapon and weakness. The smart buyer waits for the moment when that ticking clock flips in their favor. Model year changeovers, quarterly audits, and 120-day age tiers all create pressure points that force managers to cut deals they would never consider earlier in the season. Late summer through early autumn is when last year's models become financial liabilities. Floor plan lenders demand curtailment payments, and lots must clear space before the next shipment arrives. That's when hesitation costs them money, and swift action earns you savings. When visiting a dealership, look for signs of changeover, new brochures, updated banners, or a sudden influx of next-year models. Those clues mean aging inventory is losing value by the hour. The best deals aren't random. They're scheduled by the industry's own deadlines. Patience becomes your strongest weapon in this quiet war of timing. When their clock runs out, yours begins. Once you pick your moment, the next battle isn't with time, it's with hidden damage. The inspection playbook. Armed with knowledge, step onto the lot like a detective. Start with the roof. Run your hand along the seals, checking for cracks or dryness. Move to the sidewalls. Discoloration near seams hints at leaks beneath the surface. Look closely at tires, noting the Department of Transportation date code stamped into the rubber. Anything more than 2 years old is already aging toward replacement. Inside, sniff for mildew, open cupboards for moisture, and lift cushions to expose condensation trails. A simple flashlight can reveal water staining invisible to showroom lighting. Check the battery bay for corrosion, the undercarriage for rust, and every slide-out for proper sealing. These inspections take minutes but can uncover years of neglect. Sales staff may assure you that everything is factory fresh, but the evidence of stillness never lies. A little vigilance turns potential disaster into leverage, because a flashlight can save thousands. Once you know the condition, it's time to turn that information into negotiation firepower. Negotiation warfare? Negotiation isn't about confrontation, it's about precision. Start by asking one question most buyers never think to mention. How many days has this RV been in stock? Dealers track it obsessively. You just turned the conversation tactical. If the answer is over 120 days, you already know their floor plan interest is compounding. Next, request the floor plan payoff amount, the figure they owe their lender. When you offer close to that number, the manager faces a choice. Sell and stop the financial bleeding, or keep paying interest on a depreciating unit. You can also tie your offer to proof of age. Demand new tires, fresh batteries, or extended warranty coverage as part of the deal. Every concession you win offsets the silent damage of lot rot. Approach calmly, as if reading from a playbook rather than improvising. In this arena, the first to lose patience loses the war. Now you're the one setting the clock. If the dealer hesitates, pause the deal and thank them for their time. The act of walking away is often more powerful than any argument. Managers know silence means a lost sale, and within hours, you might receive a call with a better offer. Discipline and timing win more battles than aggression ever will. Control the rhythm, and the field is yours. And when you understand the game from every angle, you gain something even more valuable than a discount: the upper hand, the buyer's edge. By now, the dealership no longer looks mysterious. You can see the pressure in every handshake, hear the ticking floor plan clock behind every smile. You've learned that each shiny RV carries a backstory: financing chains, time limits, and the quiet fear of losses piling up in the background. When you walk in informed, you don't just buy, you negotiate from strength. That knowledge separates casual shoppers from strategic ones. Before you sign, imagine the paths that unsold RVs take if you don't buy them. The wholesale yards, the rental fleets, even the scrapyard. Every deal you make at the right time prevents one more vehicle from vanishing into that hidden world. You're not just saving money, you're flipping the power dynamic that drives the entire industry. The next time you step onto a lot, remember, the clock may be ticking for them, but it's yours to control. Next time, we'll take you inside an actual RV auction lane. They call it new. But now you know the truth. Some dreams never even leave the lot. The next time you walk through those shining rows, remember what hides beneath the polish. Stay sharp, buy smart, and subscribe to our channel.